Oh my goodness. Good morning, welcome back. My good name is Sakwa Brian. If you missed the rest of the conversation, you can find it on YouTube. And in this last segment of this show, we are about to delve into matters career and entrepreneurship. Now, in today's world, shifting from traditional employment to a business or entrepreneurship can be a daunting experience in a world where technology is reshaping careers by storm. However, Gen Zs are being encouraged to upskill and identified unmarked niches and also cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. What exactly does it take to transition seamlessly and land on your feet and start a business? That is the conversation we are delving into. And I'm going to be engaging Bancy Muriuki. She's the Executive Associate at Core Beyond Business Consulting. Karibu sana Bancy, great to meet you here.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. So briefly, you can tell us what you professionally do at Core Beyond and how you actually got to work with the institution and some of the things that you managed to achieve.
Okay. I'm an executive associate at Core Beyond Business Consulting. We have very many things that we do, quite a number of services, from advisory to helping solopreneurs, to helping partners in business, women in business. And one thing that we're very passionate about is helping employed people transition seamlessly into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many years has Core Beyond been there?
It's been in existence for about 13 years now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you professionally, before you actually got to work with them, were you doing something else?
Yes, yes. I was doing business, and there's this cycle of moving from business to employment, and that is what we're trying to break.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it took you some lessons to learn as well?
Yes, yes. It has taken me quite a number of lessons. Yeah.
You've been with them as well for a decade plus?
No. I've not been with them for a decade. As you can see, I'm quite young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Gen Z.
The institution has been there for a decade plus, but you joined them?
Not very long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at that as well, in the Kenyan landscape, I believe Gen Z, we live in a world where, like I've said, technology is reshaping most of these professions. You're being encouraged to actually, if you're a nurse, you can still be an engineer.
Yes.
Because technology is making everything seamless right now.
Yes.
But then I believe also that there can be a sense of uncertainty and fear of somebody who's trying to lose the employment tag and become your own boss.
Yeah.
I also do believe it's not everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So maybe what are some of the things that young people can do to ensure that they cultivate this entrepreneurship mindset? And still, yes, you can be employed, but you're an entrepreneur. And that can be an interesting thing because you're earning revenues from both sides of the forte. Yeah.
So basically, we recommend 4 stable sources of income. You could be employed, but you should have you should have 3 other stable sources of income, not just revenues of that you're bringing your money. So we recommend that we are very big on aligning you to your purpose.
Yeah.
You could be doing something, but it's not working. It's not working for you because it's not aligned to your purpose. Romans 8:28 says, "And all things happen together for the good of those that love God."
Yeah.
And are aligned according to their purpose.
Yeah.
You should be aligned to your purpose to begin with. Otherwise, you'll be laboring in vain. So we help you align yourself to your purpose. Then from there, you're able to get 4 revenue sources or revenue streams of income.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe what are they, the 4 revenue sources, the 4 streams of revenue?
Say that again?
What are the 4 streams of revenue? If you align with your purpose, you'll be able to hack.
It's different for everyone. What I am built for is not what you're built for.
Okay.
For example, we have, let me give an example of 2 different students we have in our class. One, she's in property management. Her purpose is to multiply. So if you give her your property, she's able to multiply it for you. However, we have a student B who is not able to work for people. Her blessing or her purpose is giving you the tools to help you get what you want.
Yeah.
So those are 2 different people. So we deal with you according to who you are.
Yeah.
That That's where we come in.
Yeah, that's literally being human.
Yes, yes.
Maybe at Go Beyond, who are some of the people that you've dealt with in terms of, let's say, age? Because, you know, everyone is a Gen Z.
Yes.
We live in a Gen Z world, yeah? Maybe who are some of the people that come for consultation and also those that you manage? Because I believe also mentorship is in this conversation, yeah?
Yes.
If you're transforming someone, it means you're journeying with them from page to page, chapter to chapter.
Yeah.
And mostly who are they?
Now, ironically, this is the older generation. They've tried, and it's not working out. Now they come, we help them align to their purpose. And now, this is why I'm here, to call all the Gen Zs and all the youths. You don't have to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. How about you arrest the situation when you're still young, when you still have the energy? Because when you're young, that's when your energy is highest. How about you come, or we help you align to your purpose right now that you have the energy and you're able to even create more employment. Yes.
Now, I'm looking at it in a filter where somebody who is employed in a stable working environment, a stable employment structure. Why should I trouble myself to start a business? And yet here, I'm sure of a paycheck that will come at the end of the month. Badala nichukue salary yangu nianze kutafuta kitu pesa zipotee, because failure is part of starting a business, I believe. Yeah? So how do you prepare a person in still working condition to try and at least, you know, fade away from employment and become, you know, an entrepreneur, or even also cultivate the entrepreneurial, you know, mindset?
Okay. You do not have to leave employment to start a business.
Okay.
As I said, you need 4 stable sources of income. So you could be employed, but you're running other things. Yeah. So most people are very talented. They're very gifted. However, they're boxed in. You're not able to spread your wings. Because you do not know what is going to happen to you.
And
so that is where, that is where we come in to give you clarity, 1, to give you direction, 2, and to give you the confidence.
Clarity, direction,
and confidence.
Okay.
You do not have to leave that place or your workplace or even branch out with no plan. We give you a 90-day working plan.
So it's a strategy to literally becoming somebody else, but still being who you are.
Yes. If your current job, there's something we call a time energy audit.
Time energy audit, interesting. Okay.
So time energy is you're giving so much time to this particular job, you're giving it so much energy. However, the revenue you're getting is very little. Or the revenue is quite okay, but you're not fulfilled, you're not happy. I remember some time back I was employed and I used to wake up very early in the morning, prepare myself, then sit and cry. 9 to 5. Yes, in the morning, because I feel tired already. I do not want to go to that workplace.
Is it because it was a toxic gig, or you didn't like the gig, or it was not in line with your vision?
It was not in line in what I'm supposed to be doing. So I was really struggling. Because when you're aligned, you do not struggle.
You're comfortable, actually.
Yes, you're very comfortable. You ever met somebody and they do something very effortlessly? Like on Saturday we had an Ignite and Bloom women's hub. So this is a hub for women in business. And we had
Hi Veronica, do you have a second?
And everyone, after he was done with the session, which was very powerful, very amazing, everyone said he's doing it so effortlessly. Have you ever met somebody who does something and it's so effortless?
Like, oh, this is flawless.
It's because
you ate it.
You ate it. It's because you're aligned to your purpose. That's why you're not struggling.
Right, absolutely true. There's even a meme, I think it's a Swahili one, inasema mbona watu wametoka job wamebonda, asubuhi wamebonda, jioni wamebonda. You're like, probably this person is stressed, maybe because of, say, the commute from home to work or work to home. But then also, like you said, you can be working at a company and you're losing it. Yes, the money is coming through, but you're losing yourself. Literally, you're falling apart. You're falling apart. But then also, how can a person who wants to transition to entrepreneurship, you know, just set themselves to that journey? Are there skills that maybe they need to have? Maybe if they're soft skills or hard skills for that matter? Because I'm also still looking at it from a point of, you've been stable in this job for the last maybe 10 years. And then here you are.
Thank you so much
want
for
to
being there. Good morning.
It means you have to strategize and equip yourself first before you branch out and face, you know, the whole world, yeah.
Yes, you need a plan. You just don't dive out. It's like diving out of a plane with no parachute, hoping you land safely. Okay, there's a small chance you may
survive.
land.
Yeah.
However,
chances are really
the chances are you're not going
very
to
low.
survive.
Yeah.
So we offer a 3-series class for employed people who want to move to entrepreneurship. So in this 3-series class, the first one is going to be on the 28th. So it's one class a month. So
what does it entail in these
What
classes?
it entails is, one, we look for your purpose.
Okay.
That is the first class.
How do you help somebody find their purpose? I think that's a good question for this generation, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me help you get your purpose. I think it's a deep thing. It's a deep thing.
Yeah, it requires deep questions. Yeah, I need to ask you deep questions. And this is where, from your childhood, everything now comes to play. Okay, that's why I was a prefect. I'm meant to be a leader. That's why I was this. That is why I was always, what do people come to you for?
Yeah.
Tell me, what do people come to you for?
For me personally,
yes.
a lot of things.
One thing that is
mentorship, one thing that's common, I think a lot of people say, oh, I want you to help me get on TV for an interview. That one napatanga sana kila siku hata saizi. Another thing is, do you mind shouting out my business on your IG? Yeah. And I do it, So I get that a lot,
Okay, so it could be that is what your purpose is, to empower people get to where they want to be. Yeah, like I told you, the second student B in our class, whose purpose is to empower people, but now for her it's financially. She gives you the tools to help you elevate your finances. But the other one, you give her your property and she multiplies the income. So it could be now for you, it's empowering people, empowering lives.
Yeah.
It could be that is your purpose. So that is the first thing we do. What do people come to you for, and other questions? Yeah, that is how we get to know your purpose. Yes.
So are there questions that you make this part? Because I believe that looks like some sort of like a setup or a therapy where we're like, hey, so Sakwa, so who are you? Why are you here? How are you impacting your space? And what are some of the things you're looking at that you should tap into? Maybe you've not tapped into and you should. It's like some sort of self-introspective arena.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of self-reflection. There's a lot of, actually, like, it hits you. Oh my God, I am 25. Oh, this has never hit me.
So you see that actually, women in their 30s
most
challenge that's going on
their faces. They know it, it's just that they cannot point it out. It's now for somebody to point it out for them professionally. Because more often, what you're given or what you're very good at, you give it out for free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
That is very true. Most people, you find yourself what you're gifted in, you just give it out for free without knowing that is the gift you have, and you can package it nicely to earn you an income.
Monetize it.
Yeah.
But then we're also living in a world where technology is taking over literally each and every profession by storm. Now, even the guests who were here before, they were talking about how tech is advancing, higher learning and so much more. So in this competitive world of Instagram, AI, Grok, ChatGPT, DeepMind, how can somebody use these same tools to advance themselves in entrepreneurship? Because, like I said, also entrepreneurship is a mindset,
Yes.
Some of the finance experts I've spoken to here also say wealth is a mindset, money is a mindset, business is a mindset here. So how can they tap into that in terms of escalating and leveraging?
I checked, according to statistics, 12.7% is the unemployment rate in Kenya. However, 67% of that is the youth.
I actually remember that was highlighted on the Federation of Kenya Employers.
However, these are the people who really know how to use technology. These are the people who are very conversant with AI. They use it on a daily basis. But how are you unemployed? How about you employ yourself and use that to earn you an income? We do not have to all be employed. We can be entrepreneurs, and now you create more employment. And that way, we are able to increase the employment rate. And especially for the youth.
Because like you said, the numbers are really massive. I remember highlighting the same stat that you pointed out in a 2 or 3 interviews 2 weeks ago, and it said the biggest issue that's festering in the youth in the Kenyan Gen Z forum is unemployment, but then there's the issue of upskilling with those already graduating from campus here, and those who already want to go for the same jobs or do business, they don't have the right adequate skills that can get them efficiently absorbed even into entrepreneurship. Nowadays, you need to research and learn a market. If you want to, let's say, be a part of a syndicate that's developing or coding, you have to go and learn the skill. Because now entrepreneurship is happening virtually. Nowadays, you don't have to be somewhere in Geekosh, and people are selling stuff on Meta AI, WhatsApp. So you can see there's like some sort of like, I'd say, an online revolution where what's happening in offices is being shifted to happening virtually.
And you know, most Gen Zs hate the 8 to 5 system. That is really true. And if you really want to escape from that, but however, very many Gen Zs are earning skills online. Very many people are doing extra skills online. And upscaling, yes. But now how to package it and to have it earn you an income is what people do not have. And that is now, that is where we come in.
So how do you help, let's say, a Gen Z who's been, nowadays dancing, I see dancing as one of the, it's so lucrative on TikTok, these challenges, and people are being paid by maybe the producers of the track and whatnot. How can somebody monetize, let's say, something like mentorship? You're gifted or you've been helped to discover that you can mentor other young people. How can you monetize it until it, let's say, it rebuts and becomes a topic you are able to sell and package to other people? I know LinkedIn is a good platform where you'll find a lot of mentors. I'm doing this and this, soft skills, hard skills, whatnot.
So when you're doing studies with us, or when you're doing a class with us, we bring in very many mentors. And this way you're able to get somebody who is higher than you, and you're able to anchor yourself there. Now, we say our superpower is helping people connect. We are able to pick your, like there's a student in our class, she loves cybersecurity stuff, and we were able to connect her with somebody very senior in that field. Yes. Now that way, we may not be able to be like help you technically, because now as we're in business, we'll help you package your product, but will not help you in the details. So that is now where we recommend you, or we refer you to somebody who's doing very well in your field. And
that's an impressive thing, because the opportunities out here, they are there, but who to connect you to that opportunity is a thing. There's an update I was looking for, but I think we'll get to it. There's a place where it says Gen Zs now think college degrees are a waste of time and money now that AI is taking over. There's another one that said Gen Zs think they have it rough, but millennials are the most burned out generation when it comes to employment and entrepreneurship. But then I'm looking at it, these guys are still young. They see how to transition to other, like they have so much more to achieve, but they feel extremely tired, So how can we make let's say, our Gen Zs, our youth, our Kenyan youth passionate? There's a battle of hakuna kazi. If you look at most of the demos and how some of these Vox groups are done, the prominent thing is hakuna kazi, nilisoma sina kazi. But then how can you transform their mindset to, yes, we'll graduate, but identify something that you can do within your locality that can probably earn you, so that we see on the streets.
Now, I find, I don't know whether I'm speaking from a point of Gen Zs, but we are that generation that really knows what we want. You will not do something because you want bread and butter. That's why there are very many of them who will come, work for a week and leave. That is not for them. So I actually think the group that is really boxed in are the millennials, to be honest. Because you show up because you have bills to pay. You don't show up because you love your job. And I think that's why most of the people in our class are millennials. They're completely burnt out. They're tired. Going to that, somebody told me in class, I feel so lethargic about my job. I do not feel like stepping into that place anymore. And that's why now she's there to start to re-strategize and dive in again. It is, I don't know whether I'm speaking from a point of being in my generation, but we know what we want. That's why we even come to demonstrate. We do not want this. and we will not take it. It's not working for us, and we are not going to do it. However, millennials, ni sawa, acha tu tutafanya.
It's like millennials are used to the system while Gen Zs are trying to go against the grain.
Yes. And very many millennials are depressed, drunkards, and they do not know how to get themselves out of there. Because they're in their jobs because they have to eat.
They have to pay bills.
They have to pay bills.
You literally have no options.
Yeah,
Your
you have
hands
no
are
option.
tied.
You have options. You just don't.
Is it a mindset now?
Yeah, it's a mindset.
Feeling like this is the only thing I got, and I don't know if they kick me out. I just don't know how I'm gonna learn. Because everyone is afraid of falling on their face. We want to, if something falls apart, at least you pray you land on your feet, because it's easier. You'll survive and get back up. So I think that fear of transition, maybe. How do you guys deal with it with the millennials that you interact with?
There's something I love to ask people. If your job ended abruptly today, what would you give, or what product or service would you give to earn you an income in a way you will not change your lifestyle? And will you get paid for it? Most people say, by the way, do not have.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I can imagine somebody who's on top right now, the most famous person, they're working for a great franchise here, and then all of a sudden they're cut out here. So that is where we now teach you, you do not have to leave your job to do this, as I said, because probably your purpose is aligned to that job. They need that service, and you're offering it according to what God has blessed you with. But what we want you to have another stable, in the world we live in right now, very many people have side hustles. However, if your job ended, it could not sustain you effectively, and your lifestyle would abruptly change. So we recommend, yes, you can have a side hustle, but please make it very stable in a way that is not going to affect, your lifestyle is not going to be affected in case you got critically ill, or in case something happened to you. Or your loved one.
Or your loved one.
To be the ones.
And in this case, there should be 4, not just 2. Actually, the Bible says 7.
So you should have 4, like 7 more places where you can.
But now 4, just do 4.
Just do 4. Because that's a lot.
7 is, just do 4.
Have a lot of delegation to do. There's a place in your description where I think you had written, starting wisely. I believe starting with a lot of gusto and force. In as much as maybe you've been cut out, you've fallen on your feet, you're trying to get back up. So how can somebody start with a lot of force and branch out?
Number 1, you need clarity, like I said. You need to know this with a lot of focus and with a lot of clarity. This is what I want. Number 2, you need direction. How do I get to that? How and why do I need to go there? Number 3, it's now the confidence. Confidence is knowing that I do not have it all, but hey, I will go for it, and I will get it.
Gassing yourself up.
Yes, gassing yourself up. That is what starting wisely is. However, the 3 go hand in hand. You might gas yourself up, but you do not know where you're going, so you're just going. And you'll fall on your face.
Direction now.
Now you need direction, you need clarity, and now we need to give you that confidence. And confidence comes with, you have a plan, you know exactly what you're doing and where you're headed, and you also have a backup team. You can just call us, hey, this is what is happening, what do you think? And we guide you through.
That's a powerful thing, because you're literally transforming the mind, the spirit, and the structure of this person. So you're like some sort of like a force that's penetrating this person's, life perspective at large. Maybe what are some of the successful cases at Core Beyond that you guys have managed to accomplish for yourself that you'd say, this one is a testimony to our franchise?
One we had, is it last week, that we're still celebrating, is somebody who started his tech company, and there's something like a ChatGPT that we were helping him package and strategize.
Some sort of LLM.
Yes. And it has gone global. He launched it globally.
It has a name? Maybe we've heard of it now.
I'm not sure he would want me to
shout it out.
Yes, just yet.
So mostly mmekuwa na watu wa tech sana.
Tumekuwa na watu wa tech, tumekuwa na people in tours and travel, but they do not know how to package. They know, you know, where to take your clients, you know how to do it, but you're scared, you do not know how to package your things.
We're going to talk about...
we've also had people in career, in
Morning
law.
again.
You're employed, but you do not know how to spread your wings. Yeah, we've had people in very many careers. And even people in business.
Have you met journalists?
Have we met journalists? Maybe you could be the first.
Could be the first specimen.
Yes.
But then also from your observation I'd say as an expert, as a professional, maybe what you think is the gap, is let's say a point of inadequacy from all this in terms of the youth trying to cultivate themselves in moving from what you do to something else, like having a variety, being multifaceted with what you know. Maybe what would you say is the core, inadequate part that needs to be tapped into in terms of, let's create this awareness so that, si lazima tu kwe a tech consultant. You can even be a nurse because you learned it online. And like I've just pointed out here, most Gen Z's feel degrees are so useless.
That is very true. The degree part being very useless. There's a class I'm taking right now, and I asked my teacher, it's online, so I haven't met him one-on-one. And I asked him, and where did you school for this? He laughed and said, I have not schooled for this, but he's training us, and he's 21.
University of YouTube,
and he's doing it very well, very, very well. So I believe what is lacking is guidance. Guidance and mentorship.
Guidance and mentorship.
Yes.
But are the youth also receptive to mentorship? Interestingly, it's also something that I noted here. There's those Gen Zs who, let's say they successfully go through deployment, they go through the recruitment process, the training, and then they report in week 1, week 2, they've ghosted. They're being called to come back, they're not picking up, the phone calls, only to realize that, what, this is not what I wanted, or it's what I wanted, but now it tastes different from my vision and whatnot here. Are they really receptive and open to mentorship and training? Because most of them just want to chill back at home and create content. They're live on TikTok. I'm on the CBD record, this dance choreographies and whatnot. Are they really open to such, programs, mentorship?
I'd say yes. You see, the Gen Zs we're seeing are the ones online. However, there's a very good number of Gen Zs who are doing very well in professional places. Like we had a few Gen Zs on Saturday. So as I said, it was a women's hub. However, we had a couple of Gen Zs there. They came and they wanted, and they said, we want to see what other people are doing. We want to see what mistakes not to make. We want mentorship. We call it a shortcut to life. We do not have to take the whole journey to know what's on that end.
The more you have
reason why we came to get shortcuts basically. To decrease the time of learning and failing and learning and failing. So I'd say there's a very good number of Gen Zs who are very ready to learn.
But somebody would say a shortcut is a long cut eventually.
By shortcut,
it has changed because of this generation. Because Gen Zs are taking to trust the process, by the way. In fact, we resemble, the process trust me. We want to trust the process, kabisa. And they'll be like, me, I'm a soft life ambassador. I know go surfer, me, I want party. They have their own philosophies, and you could see it working for them. They're bowling, they're driving some of these latest cars that took generation, I'd say boomers, decades to get. They are succeeding faster. So I think I agree with you on that one. I was looking for an update that was, I think this one is different. There's one that was talking about professions that will completely fade off, but I think this was during the early human life. The detailed human alarm clock. I can't believe there's people who used to, activate human clock. Lamp lighters, way back lamps were being lit on the streets. So switchboard operators nowadays, like for example, telecommunication things are happening automatically with tech. A lecturer who entertained factory workers. Interesting. This is from wealth and puberty. But then if you look at that as well, if you were to compare with what artificial intelligence is doing right now, there's a lot of jobs that are partially moving to robotics, and they're being taken over by automation systems and now AI systems. And you'll see most companies are actually, they prefer to have people that have these skills more than people who don't have. So that also means that it's an issue of upskilling, yeah. So from your standpoint and what you envision with this, maybe what would you think you'd recommend to the Gen Zs? Because I'm looking at this Gen Z who is in the interior of Bondo, you know, interior of Kakamega, you know, they're still struggling with getting a smartphone at least, yeah. So how can they, you know, get absorbed into such?
Get absorbed into such.
Yeah.
I think now this is where we create awareness. We try to get to them as much as we can because they cannot get to us. Yeah, so it's us to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think there's programs like, is it the Ajira, something digital that's, that actually helps to empower the youth in terms of getting digital skills and financial inclusion. It's actually one of the government's program to ensure that youth get employment and still entrepreneurship. And speaking of entrepreneurship, it's not an easy journey.
Yeah.
It's not an easy journey.
Yeah.
There's uncertainties that come into it. Starting a business, you're literally risking, yeah? So how can you make a person's heart so brave? Start a business. You just start. You will fail, but just start, yeah. And how sure are you that you're going to get back up if you do that? Yeah.
Failing is part of learning. When you fail, don't just stay there. Please come back. However, there are people now, the professionals who help you limit the number of times you're going to fail, or help you come up with a plan. Now we have worked with very many people. If you dive in, you don't know what you're going to get on that end. However, we're in a position to tell you, if you take this route, it's a dead end. You'll not go anywhere. So I honestly recommend you get help and advice and a mentor, most importantly. Yes.
Do you guys do mentorship?
The sands of time seem out of stock.
If somebody, let's say, a journalist is easy. Maybe you can just look for Jeff Koinange. Let's say for a nurse, yeah. How do you find a mentor nurse to, you know, recommend to this gentleman or this young lady who wants to find a nurse mentor?
A nurse mentor. So as we said, we believe our superpower is in connecting people. I might not technically be able to help you as a nurse. However, I can connect you to somebody who is higher. But maybe your calling is nursing. How can you be able to get 4 stable source of income from that? Yeah, you do not have to now become something different that you're not. However, you could be a nurse because more often we're gifted with about 3 gifts. That's the minimum of the people we've worked with.
Yes,
on average,
at least 3 gifts.
Around 3 gifts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So how do you know this is an interesting thing? How do you know that you're gifted in this and that? But you mentioned, like even from you said, a lot of people reach out saying they want to be on TV, and here I hook them up here. How do you know that you're gifted in something that can lead to monetization or earning you revenue? Apart from singing that are most known. Oh, I can sing, I can dance, I can write,
As I said, it's a self-reflection. It comes from you.
That's self-discovery.
Yes, what we do is trigger you and trigger your mind to actually realize that this is something that I'm very gifted in. This is something I've done effortlessly since I was a child. And now being able to package it and being able to have it earn you an income is what now will help you. Otherwise, all these things are in you. They are within you, and what I'm doing to you is just triggering your mind and helping you realize that it's actually this and this and this. So you could find that nurse who is their gift is probably they're very empathetic and it's the gift is caring and helping people. That is their purpose. However, they're very good in tech. That is another gift they have. So you could have very many things, and now we help you have structures and help you appoint people to have it run independently. A business should not depend on you. That the moment you step out, it falls. No. So we help you structure it, we help you package it nicely, we help you get the necessary or the help that you need. Then that way it runs on its own as we now begin working on another one. Imagine it's not difficult.
That one requires a lot of stability,
a
lot of stamina, and just being grounded.
Yes.
But then when you look at let's say boomers, let's say are our forefathers or mothers.
less women doing
aunties
it,
and whatnot.
then more
When you look
less
at the
women
structures
will
that
be
they
getting
were
into
used to in
employment.
terms
And
of
even
earning a
when
livelihood,
they extend
way
it
back
into
traditionally
employment,
was you go
there
to
is still
school,
leakage in that
graduate,
workforce
kupata
pipeline
ukimaliza
because
certificate, go
of
look
the
for a
very
job.
difficult,
But things have
work
changed right
environment.
now.
It's
You
not very
have to have at
supportive.
least
For
multiple
instance,
things on the
you will
table.
realize that in
You're an
technology,
influencer, but you're a radio
there's
personality.
a very
You're a radio personality,
high-
but still you're
high
doing
value
MC.
in
So
working very long
it's like we're
hours.
shifting into a
And-
world
and
where
that really
you
does
have
not
at least to
support
have
you. For
something
instance,
running
someone
from
who has,
different
supporting
from
family,
totally
which is
what you
really
do.
roles
Yeah.
and
Yes,
also
yes.
Are there
follow
people
that
you'd
man as
say
well.
they find
So
it
you'll
hard
find
to
that, and
transition
even there's
and
a lot of
become,
also
let's say,
because it's very
we say a jack of
male-dominated
all
and
trades,
because
to
unfortunately
become
sometimes
two
there's
different
sexual
things, but
harassment
in
and all
one,
that.
but
That
running it
means that more
successfully. It
women
can be really
leave that
daunting
workforce
to your
before they
mental
can
well-being
even
and
get
emotional
to the
well-being, I
higher
believe, yeah.
levels. And
Running
that
like
also
4
now
things
means
that are
there's
stable
less
and they're
women at the
prominent
top,
and they're
even
giving
in terms
returns
of
and you're
leadership
sure
because of
100%.
those
Yeah.
really
Yes, we do. We get
stringent
such
work
people.
and, work,
Mostly, these are the people
environments.
who've been
There are really
employed for
no-
years and
there we
years.
still do not have
However,
proper,
they
procedures
did not.
of
They're not in that
promotions
job
and all
because
that. So
they
we
enjoy
see-
it.
we
They're in
still
that
have,
job
we still have a
because
really big gender
they
gap in
had
terms
to
of
they
in
had to
terms of
put food on
education,
the
in terms
table
of
for their
employment, in terms of
children.
leadership.
So
And
changing
when you
that
say- when you
that
talk about
person's
leadership,
mindset,
if you have
it takes
women
about
in those
it takes
leadership
a number
roles,
of
then they're able
classes, to be
articulate,
honest.
Should
the
include
needs
prayers.
of
Yes, yeah. we actually
challenges
recommend
that women
we,
face
we
Yeah.
actually
in this
recommend
environment, and
God has
therefore
to
make
take you
life
through
easier.
this.
So there's a
But
sense
you
of
do not have
faith
someone
here.
who
Yes,
in
yes, there's a sense of
self-discovery.
faith,
Yeah.
and there's a sense of some
All
people
right, I'm
don't, this class is usually very intense that some people even break down. I saw somebody cry sometime back in class. I think she's about 55.
Wow.
Yes, but she found her purpose on that day, and she was like, oh my God.
In hybrid
All
college
those
in
years,
UK.
and she broke down.
You know,
So please
whilst
don't
we're
get
doing
there,
web
but if
development,
you've already gotten there, please come. You can turn around. It's not too late. The most important thing is to start now.
Yeah, start
Yeah,
now.
yeah, start now. Yes.
And live in the now.
Yeah, she broke down and I felt so bad. Yeah, and I told myself I don't want to get there.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
anybody else you know or
Yeah.
close to you.
Yes, yes.
Because that's a sense of arrested development,
Yeah.
just to call it that.
Yeah.
But then is it possible here to know that this person is in bondage? Like you're so skilled,
It's
you're
women who are-
multifaceted, you're gifted and talented, but nobody's noticing it. I believe there should also be someone to scout you and say, I think Sako is so good at this thing, and probably let me recommend you to so and so. Are there people that they're so, let's say, graciously gifted at what they do, but I think to now recognize, I'm giving them credit peer, and I believe peer that sense of just affirming that, hey, I think Bancy, you're so good at this thing, and probably let me forward you to so and so. So they journey with you. Are there people that are experiencing this, and probably it's arresting their development? Yeah.
Yes, yes. We have people who come. They say, "Oh my God, I feel so tired. My mind is clouded. I do
Right,
not.
at 154
I
channel,
feel so tired." However, if you sit down with this person, you actually realize how gifted and how talented they are.
Yeah.
And now, this is now where relearning comes in. Relearning, learning again,
Unlearning. It
and
definitely
unlearning.
shows
Yes,
this is something.
unlearning, relearning, and yeah, that is where now it comes in.
definitely.
We help them unlearn what they already knew. We help them just start again, to be honest.
start again,
However, God is very gracious and very merciful. Oftentimes you find everything that they've been learning, it doesn't go in vain. It helps them now in their new journey.
navigate in the
Yes,
future.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It doesn't go in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also somebody who is stuck. I think arrested development is still stuck. How can you move them from the mindset of being stuck to now you're feeling, you are too uptight, now you feel encouraged, your heart is lighter, the burdens that you're going through are no longer there, and then start a business. Because like you said, business is a mindset, wealth is a mindset, money is a mindset. How do you unstuck a person who's stuck to start entrepreneurship?
We help you look like you
Hey,
see. We
Brian.
had somebody in class. I love to give examples of
Yeah,
the
sure,
people we've worked with.
Okay.
This person had to delete very many things from her life, starting with a partner who kept telling her, hey, biashara ni mbaya, ni kubaya. You see those people who are very negative. Yes, taxes ziko juu. Number one, you have to, for you to get yourself out of that stuck position, you have to work on yourself. To also also have to work on your surrounding, because your surrounding determines or plays a very big role in who you are. So she did very nice. Yeah. So she cut off this partner who kept telling her venye biashara ni mbaya, venye niko gumu, venye taxes, venye nini, venye, all that. Number two, she went and laid off her house girl, because yes, she realized when she comes home, hafiki nyumbani, anafika kwa nyumba. You know, there's a difference. Yes, between her home and house. Yeah, so she comes back to her house because it's very cold. Ni kama, the energy is just off in the house. Yeah, so she, bad vibes. Yeah, so we encourage you to do away with some of the things that are making you very stuck. Yeah, and one thing, if your mind is not in a good place, you're usually completely stuck. Yes, and so we help you with that.
Help you to clear your mind.
Yes,
and I can attest actually when progress is felt. You can fail to see it visually, but you know deep inside, I'm making progress, in as much as it's not visible outside. Is it true?
Yes, that's very true. So the energy time audit, you're spending a lot of energy on something, you're spending a lot of time on something, however, people are not even noticing you. There's a problem there. Yes, because it is not adding up. There's so much energy being given out. There's so much time being spent. Yes. However, nobody is noticing you. Nothing is happening. Yes, and for some reason, when you start now working on yourself and you're aligned, you actually realize now, hey, by the way, Nani has noticed me. We have these testimonies in class. Before every class, we ask you, how has your week been? And from the second that class, stories change. Stories change completely. There's this thing that I was really following up. Somebody told us yesterday in class that somebody came and hired all my go-downs. I do not know what to give out now. When you're aligned now, things start coming. You now become like a magnet of what is supposed to come. You attract. Yes.
And even manifesting.
Yes.
Like they said, the universe is in my favor.
The universe actually is always on your favor. It's just that you're not aligned to it. Yes.
And that means you have to do some discovering and work.
Yes, and unlearn very many things. Because you see, we come from households where our parents tell us what to do. Like the first course I did, it's my mom who picked it for me. Most of us are that way actually. Yes.
Like it's a family thing. Doctor, nurse, teacher.
Yes.
Anything outside that, you failed.
Yes. Even our CEO, she is an accountant by profession, but it's because both parents are accountants, not because that is what she wanted. So she, after she had finished, now she did what she wanted. I have very many friends who are actually in that. So when I wanted now to pursue what I have studied now to be able to do this, which now is my calling, my mom again went ahead to tell me to do teaching. And now this time I stood my ground and I told her, Mommy, no, I cannot do teaching. That is not for me. Yes.
But previously you had studied what course in uni?
Yes, I had done hospitality. Yes, but it was not for me. I have never practiced even one day.
Goodness. That must have felt really bad.
Yes, I felt like my time had been wasted. Yes,
and it's such a bad feeling, especially if you've practiced it and you felt like, oh, my 5 years are just gone like that.
They've just gone.
It makes you so angry, broken, and resentful.
Yes.
Actually, we have to exit, so maybe in 2 minutes, if you were to recommend opportunities for Gen Zs that they can tap into right now in this Kenyan landscape that you guys have noticed, before you actually give where they can get to seek your help and whatnot. What would you recommend?
Where Gen Zs can tap in.
Find entrepreneurial opportunities from what you've identified working at core business.
Okay, so we have for the ladies, we have a women's hub. It's open to, if you're in entrepreneurship or you love entrepreneurship or you're even employed but you really want to branch into that, it's called Ignite and Bloom.
Ignite and
Bloom Women's Hub. You can just type that on LinkedIn.
Ignite and Bloom Women's
Hub. Yes.
Sure.
So this is a hub for women in all professionals. professions, sorry. So we have lawyers, we have financial advisors, we have construction engineers, we have very many.
Hakuna journalists?
Akukua, unfortunately.
Okay.
Akukua.
But you'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So this is where now other like younger girls came in, and they actually now were able to get help. How can I finance plan? How can I, can you hold my hand? Can you do this for me? So that is a very good platform for now the ladies. And for the guys, we have now the transforming entrepreneurs into that is open for anyone, employees to entrepreneurs. So once you come, we bring in mentors, we bring in people who are doing very well in their fields. And this way now you're able to, we give you a place to anchor yourself.
Yeah, it's like think tanks meet starters.
Yes,
network and
and network and you bloom.
Have something. Yeah.
Because more often we find there is always somebody to help you in the room.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's big. That's big. That's
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
Actually, people need to be going to such events other than party after party somewhere.
That is true.
It's so good to party after party, but I believe such an event where you're exchanging contacts, you're meeting people who are making progress, you know, groundbreakers, trailblazers and whatnot. It's an incredible thing. So if any Gen Z who's been watching this conversation and they'd like to be mentored, they'd like to be, you know, made to get into a mindset where they discover who they are and tap into the entrepreneurship mindset or entrepreneurial mindset, where can they find you? Is their website and link, whatnot? This is your camera. And also your word to the Gen Zs as they navigate through this street life.
Okay.
The streets of life.
To all my peers, all Gen Zs, you do not have to start and fail. We can give you actually give you a shortcut to life. We can help you anchor yourself. We can give you, tell you do not do this instead. Please come. Let us help you meet your mentor. Let us help you anchor yourself, and that way you do not have to go rounds and rounds. I am very proud of you that you guys have refused to settle for what is not yours. That is the way to go. In case you want to find us or me, my Instagram is actually all social media handles is Wanjiro Muriuki. Our LinkedIn is Core Beyond Business Consulting. We also have Ignite and Bloom Women's Hub, and our website is www.corebeyond.com. You can also reach us on 0704 486 847. Yeah, thank you so much.
Period.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bancy.
Period.
Yeah, period. Gen Zs are standing on business out there. They were like, this is not what I want. I'm going for this and I'm not coming back tomorrow.
And I'm
They're
so
standing
happy
in
for
business
that.
and it's working actually.
Yeah.
A generation of change, and you guys are doing amazing stuff at Core Beyond here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here too as well.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we have been speaking to Bancy Muriuki. She's Executive Associate at Core Beyond Business Consulting. An interesting conversation. If you've learned something, please say it at the comment section. And I just want to thank you as well for watching us from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. My good name is Sakwa Brian at Brian Sakwa 101, and my co-host is Stephanie Ayeta at Y254 channel. And we will absolutely see you tomorrow bright and early right here from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Thank you.
Y254. Imagine.